My name is Jay. I'm the outlet manager of the Morecambe outlet of Eggcup. Eggcup is a community organisation and we work in the food sector. We're a charity and we aim to redistribute food, often surplus food, so food that would have gone to waste or to landfill, and redistribute that into the community with the aim of reducing the cost of food for people that are in financial difficulty.
I'm David and I'm the manager at Eggcup. Eggcup really rose out of the food club movement across the Lancaster district. Food clubs are usually pop-up weekly events where local people will come together and will share surplus food that they normally have got from places like Fairshare and local shops. I think we realised that it would be useful to have a kind of a centralised warehouse type facility, a hub that could be used by all of the different food clubs to take in more food than each individual club can manage on its own. So having this kind of central hub means that all of the food clubs have a greater capacity, can get in more food. The idea was also that we could help to establish new clubs and really just act as a bit of a support mechanism and a facilitator of a kind of a wider food support initiative across the district.
Eggcup used to, way before COVID, do pop-up food clubs where we would bring the food into a venue like a church or a town hall and distribute that among members. So we've now moved to this model that's a bit more like a shop, which I'm in at the moment, and this allows us to have a much kind of safer in COVID terms system. So people are able to come in, they get kind of the allotted amount of food for whatever we've had in that day, kind of changes week to week what stuff we have. And members come in once a week and they collect their food. It saves them on their weekly bills.
So food comes in from all sorts of different places. Surplus food can be created for all manner of different reasons as well. Some of the food that comes in is from sort of national organisations that deal with large food companies, but we also get a lot of food directly from food businesses. So local manufacturers, producers, packing places, wholesalers will all have surplus food, even local restaurants and catering firms and things like that. And we'll collect food or they can deliver food to us to stop that food from going in the bin. Food can become what we call surplus for like loads of different strange and wonderful reasons. Things as simple as labels being printed incorrectly and it just not being economically viable to reprint products. Difficulties with logistics, especially with short-dated foods. So if supply chains are running on a kind of a just-in-time basis, then any kind of disruption in supply can create waste, or as the companies would see it, waste. Seasonal products, promotional products from Christmas or from Easter are no longer on sale sort of after those periods, and quite often there's some left. And then just basically issues with the system. So supermarkets will have contracts with suppliers and with producers, and quite often they will be reliant on forecasting techniques to know what they're going to want to buy and what they're going to be able to sell, and they don't always work, and so they end up having to cancel orders at the last minute, and that leaves the producers or the suppliers with a stock of food that they can't sell, and so that's the kind of stuff that we'll often get in here. When the food does come in here, we have a fantastic team of volunteers who will then bring that food in. They'll sort through it all. Quite often we don't always know exactly what we're going to get, so we have to sort through all the food. Quite often there's temperature checks required in order to make sure that it's still fine. Once it's been sorted, we'll book it onto our purpose-made inventory system, which lets us know what we've got, where it's come from, where it's being stored, and then ultimately, once we book that out to the various places that it goes, where it's gone as well. Sometimes the food needs limited processing, so if we receive kind of large catering pack size things or food that's kind of not quite ready to go straight out to our members, then we have a prep room facility where our volunteers can like repack things or maybe even cook some things. We have a big boiler where we can make soups and things like that with veg that's perhaps a little bit past its best. So we have to do a bit of that as well. And then once the food's been sorted out, it'll go out to one of our outlets where our members can come and collect it, or indeed one of our partner organisations will do deliveries or collections to those people as well.
There's a weekly membership fee that goes towards us buying in food and our running costs, things like rent, keeping the lights on, and that fee goes towards us bulk buying in cupboard staples. So at the moment it's milk and bread and eggs, but it could be anything really. People don't have to pay for them when they're here. That's part of their membership, is they have a guaranteed 2 litres of milk, loaf of bread and half a dozen eggs. The idea in principle is to pool the resources of lots of different food clubs, lots of different members of food clubs, so just people in the community, and to pool all those resources together in order to have a kind of similar level of buying power to organisations like supermarkets?
I think what we're doing right now is meeting a need. We're using a resource that's available in order to meet a need that there is currently with people who are basically just not getting enough money in order to meet their basic needs. It's not a long-term solution. We know that we're kind of sitting in between two broken systems. One of them is a very complex food system that just by design it creates waste. And one is a societal issue really that's kind of outside of our remit to fix. Ultimately, people need to be able to earn enough money to live. It's not just about the food. Food is a way that we can reach people. Food is almost like a conduit to bring people together. We're aiming to do more than just kind of pass on the nutritional benefit of food. We're aiming to use that food to create communities, I suppose, communities and neighbourhoods that are connected, that can then start to create their own solutions, build networks that can support individuals and support each other. And so what we want to do is kind of leverage that food to bring people together and then find out what it is that people actually want and try and facilitate almost like local community action, really.
If you are a local food business, so a supplier, distributor, producer, and you would like for your surplus to be kind of removed for you free of charge and to be able to go back into helping the community, you can contact us. The best way to do that is to email us. We'll be able to arrange people to come and collect from you, whether that's a regular weekly collection or just when you have kind of a glut of stuff in, and we can redistribute that for you. We are a charity, and so we're able to accept donations, so whether that's donations of food or of time or of money. Everything is really appreciated. If you're interested in becoming a volunteer, you can also contact us by that same email again, or you can come and see us at one of our outlets. So this here is 21A Albert Road in West End of Morecambe, and we also have a warehouse in Lancaster, which is 13 to 15 Chapel Street, and you can come in and inquire about volunteering if you've got just a couple of hours a week spare or a couple of days a week. Everything is really useful, and we've got loads of different tasks that you can do, from cleaning to stock rotating to serving members to driving vans to answering the phone. So it's probably something that you'd be able to help with.
If anybody locally did want to kind of get involved and look at creating their own food initiative, whether that's a food club or something else, it's hard work. I think it's important to know that it's not always easy, especially working with food. There's a lot of kind of restrictions in place, a lot of food safety sort of legislation and things that people need to be aware of. But first, I just think I would kind of reach out to people within your community and see who's willing to help with that, see who wants to get involved, and be clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve as well. If it's just about stopping food from going in the bin, I think that's a bit different to trying to support people who are on a low income. But yeah, reach out to other people first and foremost, find out what other people are doing, visit, there's lots of different food clubs in this district, and there's lots of other food initiatives as well, and not just food ones, but lots of other kind of really cool community activities that are going on. So reach out, find out what people are doing and get some advice and see who can help.